Former President Trump posted a message on Truth Social that shook the political world, a clear warning to Iran. Many are calling it bold, but some conservative voices, including Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, are criticizing him for it. Today, we are breaking down why their criticism misses the point. This is what he said. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one, in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the ferry, you crazy bee, or you will be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. Josh Hammer to respond to Candace Owens' take. Let us watch what he had to say.
People who were formerly supporters of Donald Trump, people like Candace Owens, who has posted this. She said, this is a satanic administration. We all realize that satanic Zionists occupy the White House and Congress needs to move to have the Mad King Trump removed. All of our lives may depend upon other countries realizing that Trump is deeply unwell and surrounded by religious fanatics who have convinced him that he is a messiah. We are in uncharted territory. Leaders worldwide need to act accordingly. Josh, what's your response to Candace Owens and the mainstream media, who seems to be really preoccupied with expletives rather than the strategy behind a post like this?
Well, Candace Owens, Reed, I think you and I have discussed her in the past. She is just a raving lunatic at this point there. Frankly, if America were a first world country, which in many ways she is, but if she were a truly first world country, I think Candace Owens would be, frankly, in the loony bin at this point there. She would be in the mental ward of some asylum there, as opposed to garnering millions and millions of views and downloads from her increasingly just unhinged program there. Frankly, she's the living embodiment of so-called horseshoe theory, of people on the so-called far right. I don't really think of her as being on the right anymore, but to the extent that she is making common cause with the denizens of the furthest on the far left there. And now she's calling for impeachment there. It's just sick, absolutely sickening stuff there. Trump is going to see this thing through. He doesn't give a rat's behind, frankly, as to what Candace Owens says, as to what CBS, NBC, ABC says, Martha Raddatz. Who the heck cares? Donald Trump, Rita, as I said in my speech at CPAC about a week and a half ago in Texas, Donald Trump has been more consistent, arguably, on the issue of Iran going back to literally 1980, like the year after the revolution. He's been arguably more consistent on this issue than any issue out there, with the exception of tariffs. He has been calling the mullahs out for their danger and their perfidy and, frankly, just their evil ways for 47 years now. And he's not going to stop anytime soon there. But yes, there is this effort, Rita, and I call it out all the time these days, it seems like. There's an effort from some people on the so-called right to try to undermine the Trump administration from within. Donald Trump, to his great credit, Rita, to paraphrase Michael Corleone from The Godfather, is increasingly starting to settle the MAGA family business. He is not having it anymore with people who claim to speak for MAGA, but are actually just trying to undermine Trump on a daily basis, much like Candace Owens there. That's the good news there. The bad news is that these people don't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. But frankly, I prefer to have a commander-in-chief who doesn't really give two you-know-whats about what the critics say there and just has a basic, visceral, instinctive moral compass as to what is the right and wrong thing to do on the world stage there. Trump knows what the right thing to do is and does it quite well, I might add.
What you just watched is important because it shows the divide that is happening right now, not between left and right, but inside the conservative movement itself. For years, conservatives have argued that America needs to project strength on the world stage. That weakness invites aggression. That hesitation creates opportunity for our enemies. But now, when a strong message is delivered, suddenly the conversation shifts from national security to tone policing. This is what we constantly hear from the left. Outrage over words, outrage over style, outrage over delivery, while ignoring the bigger issue. And now we are seeing some voices on the right repeat the same pattern. Instead of asking, what message does this send to Iran? The focus becomes, did he say it the right way? Meanwhile, the real world does not care about optics. Adversaries do not sit around analyzing phrasing. They respond to strength, clarity, and resolve. History shows that when America speaks softly, while threats grow louder, that is when problems escalate. What Josh Hammer pointed out is something a lot of people are thinking but not saying. Criticism like this risks weakening the message at the worst possible time. Because when the debate becomes about personalities and presentation, The original issue, the threat itself, fades into the background, and that is dangerous, because the priority should always be what is better for the country, not what gets the most clicks, reactions, or social media engagement. This moment is bigger than a post, bigger than a headline, and bigger than internet drama. It is about whether we still believe that America should speak with strength when it matters most, or whether we are going to get distracted by the noise. And this is where the conversation takes another turn, because it is not just Josh Hammer saying this. Steven Crowder weighed in too, and he did not hold back when addressing Tucker Carlson's criticism. Crowder makes a point that a lot of conservatives are wrestling with right now. Are we working to improve what we have from the inside, or are we unintentionally helping the very people we oppose? Listen to how he puts it.
I would vote for this administration again. I'd vote for this president again. Your choice is either we can work within what we have that has some degree of a self-correcting mechanism, though it's imperfect, and work to improve it, or we can link arms with the left or be useful tools to the left. Because that is what let's distill it even more. 2028, take the two frontrunners. You either get J.D. Vance, imperfect, or Marco Rubio, imperfect, or Gavin Newsom. It is going to come down to a binary choice. And your rhetoric right now and your advocacy right now does have an impact on that. So you really better believe that Gretchen Whitmer or Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris are no different than J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio. Otherwise, you're making a mistake.
Yeah, and you better do your homework in the primaries, because that's where you can have your candidate, whoever it is. AOC is in her seat because she primaried the incumbent.
Right.
Use the primary system if you think things need to change. Don't try to blow up the system because you forgot we had primaries.
And if you have noticed a growing chorus of people on the Marxist right advocating for guiding gently this country into the hands of the left, guess what? You're not crazy.
Who do you think you are? You're tweeting out the F word on Easter morning. So obviously you're mocking the religion of Iran. Okay. If you seek a religious war,
Pause.
That's a...
You mean the installed religion? Because historically, I don't know if you noticed, the Persians weren't all Muslim people. There's a history of Zoroastrianism, and you guys can get into it. But anyway, it's just, I guess, splitting hairs. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, Islam has always been an installed religion. It's kind of new. Let's keep going.
Good idea. But by the way, no decent person mocks other people's religions.
Disagree.
How far they fall. He's like fully Jewish now, I think. Like he's just like, it's all of the Israelis. Sue, if your feelings are hurt, sue.
But to mock
Rich.
other people's faith is to mock the idea of faith itself.
When you step back and really look at this entire situation, you realize this was never just about one true social post, one interview, or one disagreement between commentators. This is about a deeper conversation happening inside the conservative movement right now. What should our priority be when the stakes involve national security and foreign threats? Should the focus be on how something is said, or on what message is being sent to the rest of the world? Because those are two very different conversations, and right now, they are colliding in a very public way. You have heard Josh Hammer lay out why he believes this kind of criticism misses the bigger picture. You heard Steven Crowder argue that conservatives have a choice: work within what we have and improve it, or risk becoming useful to narratives that do not have the country as best interest at heart. And then you have Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, who see it differently and believe the tone and approach matter just as much. That is why this debate is getting so much attention, because it is not surface-level drama. It is about direction, priorities, and how strength is communicated in moments that matter. So now I want to hear from you. Where do you stand? Should the focus be on tone, or should the focus be on the message being delivered when dealing with serious threats? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them. If you appreciate breakdowns like this where we actually slow things down and look at what is being said instead of just reacting to headlines, make sure you give this video a like. It really helps the channel. And if you are new here, hit that subscribe button so you do not miss the next reaction and commentary. I have got more videos coming where we unpack